quick reminder that if this was an assessment, you'd be expected to have a test plan and evidence of testing for your final integrated program. And it's normally a good idea to write your test plans before you write your code. I've made a copy of my base component, and I can now integrate the stats component into it. The start game class stays the same, but inside the initial function of my play class, I've got the rounds1 integer variable, and that needs to be added into the base component. And I'm going to put it underneath my rounds1 variables. The next thing that we need to do is get our stats button to work correctly and to invoke our toStats function and our toStats class. Please copy that code from your stats component and then carefully paste it above your display hints class. Next, scroll up to your rounds results function and inside, go to where the user wins a round. We need to update the rounds1 by retrieving the number of rounds1 from our rounds1 variable, adding 1 to it, and then updating our rounds1 variable. Our next step is to go back up to our control button list in our initial class, and we can set the command on the stats button so that it goes to stats. When the user first launches the game, our stats button should be disabled, and it should only be enabled once they've played at least one round. Please go to underneath where you retrieved the stats button from the control list and configure it so that it's disabled at the start. Then you'll want to go down into our rounds results, and at the start of rounds results, we can re-enable the button. And we can test our game, and this time round, I'll just go with 3 rounds. And as you can see at the start, I can't see the stats. I can go ahead and I lost on purpose because that lets me confirm that my you haven't won anything is working. We can then carry on playing and hopefully do a little bit better. And now if I look at my stats, it's correctly telling me I won 2 out of 3 games. I can't spawn multiple buttons. And of course the cross is working correctly. What we have is really good, except when the game is over. Right now, users can't easily see how they did. In Draw.io, I added to the wireframes so that when the game is over, our heading changes to game over. Instead of the target score, we tell the users the success rate. Instead of telling them to choose a color, we tell them to look at the stats, and the stats button is going to be red. And as you can see, I have evidence of implementing this and testing it successfully. If you'd like, feel free to see if you can make these changes yourselves. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.